The campaign was created to raise awareness of the sexism that happens within football, as well as aiming to educate their audiences. On the HerGameToo Instagram page, they released a voice recording from Bobby Hardgraft.
The idea came from a group of girls who simply had enough. We're all extremely passionate football supporters. We go to games, we follow the team across the country, our respective teams obviously, and yet we're treated different to if we were the opposite gender. So Kaz, the founder, she contacted me to get involved as she knows that I've experienced it and been quite vocal about sexist abuse that I've received, especially on social media. And as soon as she asked me, I wanted to get involved straight away. I know that she's dealt with it personally and it's been so bad it's really affected her mental health. She's gone off social media before because of it. And why should any football fan feel the need to have to do that because of people arguing that they shouldn't support the club because they're female?
I got a chance to interview Amy Clement to discuss the campaign in more detail.
So there's 12 of us, and the main founder is a girl called Kaz, and then the other 11 of us are all just girls from across the UK, football fans. But yeah, we came together on a chat on Twitter, and we came up with the idea, and that was it. And then that was the first thing that we did. We released it on that Saturday at 10 a.m. and then yeah, it's just been crazy since then. Really, it's all kicked off. Yeah, I think individually. Amongst the girls, like we've got a mixture. We've got a couple who work in sport and football, and then obviously we're all fans as well, and a couple have played, I believe. So we've got a bit of a mixture. So, and everyone has their own experiences, and everyone's experiences are different. I'm sure Caitlin won't mind me saying she works in media for Newport County, and she's found, small things like when she's in a room and it's all full of men, and just like little comments and little things, and and then people like me who's a fan and I share my stuff online. Like for me, it's been online abuse and banter and sexist comments and things like that. And then for some, it's been things in real life, so at stadiums or at pubs, and so it's a whole mixture of experiences really that have kind of come together to kind of try and stamp it out, really. I don't really know what we expected, to be honest. I don't think we expected quite this response. Obviously it's got like 1.5 million views on Twitter, coming up to a couple of 100,000 on LinkedIn. It's really, and it's still going, it's still growing. We're still finding people who are just finding the video. And yeah, it's just meant that so much has come from it. We've had, TV, radio, podcasts, interview, all sorts of stuff, kind of like every day between us for the last few weeks. So it's been crazy, and it's really just inspired us to keep going with it. And we're in some with talks with some big kind of corporations about various things over the summer. And so it's just happened so fast. None of us can really believe it's happened, but it's awesome. And we're all so passionate about it, and we're all so in, we all want to make this work and make the change. We've done a survey which is really interesting. We're still trying to get a few more responses on that, but about how many girls have seen sexist abuse online, and 90% said yes. And this is kind of 400 people we're talking here. And how many of you have experienced sexist abuse in person? It was 50%, 60%. And it's because we wanted to do the research so we can kind of make a sort of statement, a report to kind of show that we're doing the groundwork to kind of keep this campaign going. And I know a lot of other some of the football clubs have started to do the same with their season ticket female members and things like that. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I'm just shocked about how much actually happens. I knew I experienced it online, purely for just sharing my opinions, but I didn't realise that would really transfer that much out into the rest of the public. And these are some of these girls don't really use social media. Some of them just like football and go to games with their friends, and we want to make those places safer and more. We want younger girls to feel more confident going to it, 'cause I can't imagine how many girls would probably really enjoy the football, but maybe just feel too intimidated because they're like, oh, it's all boys there, or it's all, imagine if we could create grounds and make them feel a bit more inclusive for women. Like, that'd be so cool. So, that's the kind of thing we're hoping to achieve. I think obviously the first thing we wanted to do was raise awareness, because that's the first thing with all things. You need to open people's eyes up to what's actually happening, because a lot of people are quick to say, oh, it doesn't happen because I don't experience it, and we can all say that, but you start getting people listening and hearing what's being said, and then there is things we want to do, like we want to make a change. We want to make we want other men to stand up for women if they hear something sexist. We want, clubs to take more of a stand if someone reports sexism or sexual assault within a ground. We want more to be done. We really, really kind of, look up to what the Black Lives Matter campaign's done. Because we've had this discussion before about how, for me, as a white girl, like, that campaign has kind of empowered me to feel confident that if I heard or saw something, I would stand up against it. And we're kind of hoping to do a similar thing and just show that it's not okay. It's never okay to discriminate against, whether it's race, gender, sexuality, whatever that is. And yeah, there's lots of things we're hoping to do sort of within, professional football, grassroots football, that hopefully will, educate, really. I think that's kind of the essence of the campaign, to educate. And of course, like, we appreciate that some of the comments are banter, like some of it boys just think it's funny, but then there's also a line, and the line's often crossed, and it's kind of like understanding that, people say, things like, oh, get back in the kitchen. That doesn't offend me. It just sort of makes me laugh and just think that's stupid. But when then it turns into things like, oh, there's no way you actually sit there and watch football because you're a girl, or you wouldn't. That's a different thing. And there's a line, and I think banter, sure, like whatever. I don't personally find it funny, but it's it's not offensive. But then there's definitely a line which is very regularly crossed. I know a lot of the girls get this quite a lot, like they'll be out in a pub maybe, and they'll be, oh, I support Bristol. Who plays for Bristol then? Or who's your captain then? It's like, why do we have to prove, like, if we were a guy, you wouldn't be asking that. Some people are like, well, who was the manager in 1994? And it's like, I don't know, like, that's why HerGameToo was perfect, because we were like, just the fact that we have to justify our reasons for liking, why do you like football? How did you get into it? It's like, just,
how did you get into it?
Yeah, what about you?
Additionally, I also interviewed a Twitter supporter of the campaign who had been getting involved via Twitter.
And my name is Jack Toulson.
What football team do you support?
I am a Norwich fan.
When did you first hear about HerGameToo Campaign?
I first heard about it over Twitter when it was introduced. There was a video published which discussed a lot of the main features of the campaign, talking about sexism, offensive comments on Twitter, and the video went viral. So I was first introduced to it from there, and then I immediately became a supporter of it. Apart from the video, I've also seen a lot of people come forward and admit to their stories, which they should never have to do, but through talking about what they've experienced, it's helped them to gain more self-confidence and make people more cautious, and hopefully help them to stop anything happening they may see at a football match or in person. I know a girl who plays for Peterborough United Ladies, and I know that she's a big supporter of the campaign. I know for a fact that a lot of girls who follow football have to withstand a lot of offensive comments, which I'm not going to repeat, but I think since the campaign started, it's really helped to stop all this happening.
On the HerGameToo Twitter, they promote HerGameToo merch, which interested me as I thought this was a really good advertising strategy and a good idea that I wanted to know more about.
A company called Retro Football Clothing, I think, and the guy who owns it is actually a Swansea fan, so I've known about his company for a while, and he said, oh, I'll do this for you, and we'll I'll give you the profits and you can kind of do whatever you want with them, whatever. But as a group, yes, we're really, really keen to have our own sort of line of stuff, which will be with our proper branding, maybe like a football shirt is something we're really looking into. We're actually being made some just for us 12 girls, kind of for advertising purposes by a really great company. But, in the future, we're definitely keen, we'd love to see like little girls going to a football game in it. And so we're sort of working on that sort of thing at the moment. We were like, oh, let's get bobble hats, like let's get a cool scarf, sort of like football merch but for girls and women. So it's definitely something we're looking at and excited by. So there's just a lot on, and we have to kind of take each project kind of step by step at the moment. Yeah, obviously the Euros is coming up, which is obviously a big thing, and we're going to do another video is what we're aiming for. And we're trying at the moment to get representation from each of the Euros countries. So I think there's 24 in the competition. So I'm like frantically like writing to people from Russia and the Ukraine, like Spain, like all over Europe to try and get kind of girls involved from these countries, because a lot has gone on in the UK, so we're thinking Euros, perfect. It's a great time to sort of like see how it is in other countries, what's going on out there. So we're sort of hoping to pull together a cool video which will have like HerGameToo in all the different languages and things like that. Really just a really wholesome sort of like unified video for the Euros. So we're hoping to do that. We're working on it at the moment. Obviously it's a lot of work. And then obviously for the new season we've got some ideas about representing all the teams in sort of the top 4 tiers of football in the UK, and sort of finding a woman at the football club or a fan or a player within that club and sort of showing them off, basically kind of opening up the world to the women that work in football or the women that support football. So we're really trying to just get as many just share to show how many girls love football and how many girls work in football, and just open that up. And we've got a website now, which is great. I'm happy to send you the link if you want that. Yeah, and we've got a kind of a blog page up there, and we've opened it up to girls if they want to write about anything, to get kind of put their words on there as well. So yeah, we're doing lots of good stuff, and that's the plan for the next few months.
In case you missed it, the next clip will be their original video that they posted to Twitter.
I'm a survivor.